Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Common English Mistakes. Don't just learn, improve. So, just a short one today, looking at the different compound adjectives using made. There are a few of these, and they often cause a bit of confusion. We'll look at the meanings and also the opposites, and also the context where you're going to use these. So, anyway, the mistake is up here. Handmade soup tastes better. So, pause the video, see if you can correct the sentence. And well done if you said homemade soup tastes better. So we're going to use homemade to talk about food or drink, which is made at home rather than professionally, commercially from a shop or made in a factory. Generally, I would say this doesn't have a hyphen, but I have seen it in dictionaries with one. The opposite could either be ready-made, meaning ready to use or consume immediately. Can also use this to talk about things which aren't food, ready to use. They brought a ready-made proposal to the meeting. If you're in the US, American English, you can say store-bought, bought from the store. Instant, if it's dried, powdered, and you just add hot water. But really, most naturally, I would just say from the supermarket. Homemade soup tastes better, but soup from the supermarket is perfectly good. So that's homemade. Handmade, you're going to use to talk about things like furniture, jewelry, etc., to say that the majority of the work was done by a person using their hands rather than with machines. I'll say the majority of the work because with this handmade chair, obviously, the person may have used a lathe, this machine, but the majority of the work was done by hand. And we use this to emphasize that it's a more individual thing, and it's generally going to be a positive context. The opposite, like furniture from IKEA, is mass produced, where it's cheaper, made in larger numbers, in factories, and much more using machines. And again, I would use this to emphasize the negatives about something. For example, mass-produced items break easily, or on holiday, there were lots of shops selling mass-produced items. So finally, we have man-made, made or caused by humans, or artificial. We're only going to use these to talk about a few things. Something geographical, like a lake. The opposite here doesn't really exist. You just say, there's a lake near my house. I know it's natural. We also use it to talk about disasters. Chernobyl was probably the worst man-made disaster of the 20th century. Here, you must use man-made. You wouldn't say that is an artificial disaster. The opposite is obviously natural. Hurricanes are a natural disaster. And then finally, we can also say man-made materials like plastic, more difficult to dispose of, and talking about clothes and fabric, man-made fibers. Man-made or synthetic fibers means the same thing, aren't as warm as natural ones, like wool or cotton. So explanation over. Hopefully some of those were new to you. And if they were, and you haven't done so already, do make sure to like and subscribe. I'm sure there'll be more useful things for you in the future. When you're ready, let's practice and improve. Just pause the video and put one of the adjectives or compound adjectives from today's lesson into these sentences. And well done if you said, I try not to buy too much mass-produced furniture, as it all looks the same. I didn't have much time, so I bought a ready-made salad. The park has an artificial or man-made waterfall, which looks real. Then there's nothing like a homemade meal on a rainy day. It's really good. I bought some handmade shoes from a small workshop rather than mass produced from a big factory. And finally, the colour in that lake is a natural phenomenon caused by salt in the water. So now just pause the video and write, say, or discuss the same sentences for you. And finally, today's question, what homemade food do you think tastes better? So do write your answers in the comments, guys. Good opportunity to practice the language. And as ever, I'm always interested to hear about food from other countries. Anyway, that's basically it for today. Hope that was useful for you and you have a few more adjectives and compound adjectives. And I'll see you in another video in the next couple of days. Until next time, see ya.